Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 583 based on novel. So let's start. All of this was too fast. Subtitles mercilessly stuck the incense stick into the ground and then retreated 3 steps again. His left hand formed nearly 6 million seals and his right hand quickly formed almost 6 million seals as well. Then both his hands pressed on the ground. There was a bang as the mud around Wang Lin moved to form a vortex of mud. The edges rose, forming a wall of mud. From a distance, it looked like a giant clump of mud had surrounded Wang Lin. Mud kill! Subtitles roared, then the ball of mud shrank. Subtitles was very famous on the Green Devil continent. What made him terrifying was his unparalleled casting speed. Among cultivators of the same rank, he could use this advantage to launch endless spells and not allow them a break until he bombarded them to death. This was also why, even though he was a rogue cultivator, he had been invited by the Devil Dao sect. Wang Lin was inside the mud and was surrounded by the 4 mud men. Rumbles echoed, and there was also the mysterious incense power from Subtitles in his body. Outside the mass of mud, the giant, whale-like shadow opened its mouth and devoured it. After it devoured the mass of mud, the whale disappeared, but the mud remained. 9 black pythons appeared, and they spewed out poison gas that penetrated the mud. Thunderous rumbles echoed. Soon, the mud collapsed and a powerful force erupted from inside. A giant punch appeared, breaking the mud and causing several black snakes to collapse. The broken mud revealed Wang Lin, who was in a sorry state. Wang Lin had gone through much slaughter in his life since he was young. This was the first time he had no time to fight back and was being hit by a storm of attacks. All of this was because the enemy could cast spells at a terrifying speed. The moment Wang Lin walked out from the collapsed mud, there was a howl and a yellow flying sword charged at him. Behind the yellow sword were 18 mud giants. Behind the 18 mud giants, there was a painting that moved like a ribbon that rapidly closed in. Behind the painting, an ancient bone that gave off an ancient aura seemed to be thrown at Wang Lin. Behind that, the grass moved and was pulled out from the earth. Each blade turned into a drop of green liquid, and countless of them closed in. Behind that, there was a fog that swept across the world. It seemed to pluck the clouds from the sky and formed 2 palms. They rapidly closed in on Wang Lin from his left and right. The whale that had devoured and then turned into 9 pythons that spewed poison gas opened its mouth and was about to devour Wang Lin a second time. This thing was very strange. In Subtitles' experience, as long as the whale devoured 3 times, any cultivator at the same cultivation level would be seriously injured. Seeing this, even Wang Lin felt his scalp go numb. He never would have imagined that someone could cast spells at such a terrifying degree. It had only been a short period of time, but the other party had used so many different kinds of spells. Now the surroundings were covered in spells. This gave Wang Lin the illusion that he wasn't battling one person but several people. It was too late to think when a yellow sword closed in and rushed toward Wang Lin. It contained a powerful aura, as if it was certain it would split Wang Lin's flesh. The speed and continued spells gave Wang Lin no time to react. The moment Wang Lin appeared, the spells arrived. Popping sounds echoed like crazy and the sound of metal colliding came from his body. The sword landed on Wang Lin's body and Wang Lin was knocked back. Wang Lin's clothes were damaged greatly. This was the most sorry state Wang Lin had ever been in. If not for this ancient Dao body, this flying sword could have injured him. After the flying swords, the 18 mudmen didn't give Wang Lin any time to rest and closed in. When they got within 100 feet of Wang Lin, they didn't attack, they all exploded. Rumble, 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 rumble. The 18 mudmen's explosion created a vortex that surrounded Wang Lin and unleashed a devastating blow. Wang Lin coughed out blood and was going to retreat when the animated painting closed in. With a shake, the painting created layers of vortexes that trapped Wang Lin. As the rumbles echoed, the painting collapsed and 108,000 threads appeared and flew into Wang Lin's body to cause destruction. This was not the end. After the painting, the bone covered in black light was thrown toward Wang Lin. As it closed in, A huge rift appeared and a terrifying aura came out. Then a giant head came out of the rift. This head was that of a dog, but it looked very fierce. It gave off a bloodthirsty aura and its red eyes stared at the bone before Wang Lin. It let out a howl and charged out. This dog was a fierce beast captured by Shu Tsai. He used it to injure people, and there were no disadvantages in bringing it out. The dog was too fast and instantly closed in. At the same time, it bit on the bone and its large head smashed into Wang Lin. Large amounts of blood flowed out from the corner of Wang Lin's mouth, but large amounts of green liquid followed behind the dog. The green liquid landed on Wang Lin, causing thunderous rumbles. As the rumble echoed, the real killing move closed in. The killing move was the two palms that were smashing toward Wang Lin from the left and right. At this moment, the palms were less than 100 feet from Wang Lin. Popping sounds echoed from Wang Lin's body as if his body couldn't withstand it. At this critical moment, Wang Lin raised his arms and punched at the two incoming palms. At the same time, the giant, whale-like shadow opened its mouth and charged at Wang Lin. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the extreme sky prairie when Wang Lin's fists collided with the palms. Large amounts of blood mist erupt from Wang Lin's body and he was knocked back. The whale-like shadow closed in and was about to devour Wang Lin. Shu Tsai was very proud at this moment. Wang Lin opened his mouth and spat out a black stone. The moment the stone appeared, it erupted with a black light that fused with the darkness of the night. The shadow of a whale but several times larger appeared. This was Wang Lin's heavenly Tao, the nether beast. The moment the nether beast appeared, its eyes were filled with confusion and ruthlessness. It had forgotten fear and began to devour. A fierce battle happened between the nether beast and Shu Tsai's whale beast. Shu Tsai's pupils shrank and were filled with fear. He quickly retreated and was about to retrieve the whale shadow he had summoned. But this time, he was too slow. As the rumbles echoed, Shu Tsai's whale beast was about to retreat, but it was devoured by the nether beast. The moment the whale beast was devoured, Shu Tsai's face turned pale and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. "My heavenly Tao!" His voice was miserable and was filled with heartache. At this moment, Shu Tsai's eyes were red. His heavenly Tao had been devoured, it was beyond his imagination and he was filled with disbelief. Even though Wang Lin had a heavenly Tao, he had never heard of a heavenly Tao devouring another heavenly Tao. He didn't know Wang Lin's heavenly Tao had an item called the Space Stone. Wang Lin had left the cave world with the heavenly Tao but left the laws set by the heavenly Tao to maintain balance. Wang Lin quickly retreated until he was 10,000 feet away, then he swallowed the Space Stone. This was the first time Wang Lin was able to take a breath and relax a bit in this battle. Bursts of pain came from his body. He looked at Shu Tsai with a hint of solemnity and excitement. A cultivator can't cast spells this fast. This person must have encountered a great fortune and learned some special spell. This should be impossible normally. If I can learn this kind of spell. Staring at Shu Tsai, Wang Lin's eyes shined. His heart was racing, but he didn't rush out more. Ripples echoed under his feet and he disappeared. The moment Wang Lin disappeared, Shu Desha's spells arrived and echoed across the earth. Shu Tsai turned around, and his eyes were filled with madness. "You've devoured my heavenly Tao, then give me your heavenly Tao." However, no matter how Shu Tsai searched, he could not find Wang Lin's aura. It looked like he had the advantage in this battle, but his heart ached like crazy. At this moment, the two mid-stage void turbulent old monsters and the female early-stage void turbulent cultivator left their teams and closed in. But Wang Lin's figure appeared even further away. In the team the three void turbulent cultivators had left behind. Wang Lin's goal was to lead the three of them away and begin a slaughter to kill everyone here. At the edge of the extreme sky prairie, the early-stage void turbulent female cultivator who was surrounded by thousands of cultivators opened her eyes. The illusory compass before her clearly revealed where Wang Lin was. She saw the dot that represented Wang Lin disappear and then reappear far away. She immediately informed the cultivators chasing Wang Lin. At this moment, the same thing happened once more. This gave the woman a bad feeling. Once was acceptable, but twice meant that there could be a third or fourth time. This would make killing Wang Lin extremely difficult. He must have a treasure that allows him to teleport. Our entire sect only has one of those, and there are no more than 3 in the Green Devil continent. Even if it's the Heavenly Bull continent, they can't have a lot. But this person actually has one. In her gaze, she was terrified to find the light that represented Wang Lin appear in a group of green dots, and they immediately disappeared. Shortly after, Wang Lin disappeared once more and appeared next to another group of green dots far away. The third time. The woman didn't hesitate to inform all the Void Turbulent cultivators. At this moment, miserable screams echoed where Wang Lin was. There was more than a dozen Green Devil continent cultivators here surrounded by fog. The screams soon died down and the fog turned into Wang Lin. Wang Lin's face was slightly red and was no longer pale. In his battle with Shudatsai, he was seriously injured, so he had chosen the same method he had used in the cave world, to devour cultivators to heal. After devouring 2 groups of Green Devil continent cultivators in a row, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he disappeared. After 1 incense stick of time, the third group of Green Devil continent cultivators died and became part of Wang Lin's healing process. At this point, only 2 mid-stage Void Turbulent cultivators and 2 early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators were left. The 4 were very cautious and didn't scatter. Each of the mid-stage Void Turbulent cultivators stayed with one of the early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators as they headed toward Wang Lin. All of this was seen by Wang Lin. He looked at the compass and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. His target was the early-stage Void Turbulent cultivator who could cast spells quickly. That spell tempted Wang Lin. At this moment, the sky began to brighten and dawn was about to arrive. However, the rain became even heavier, causing the ground to become even more muddy. The distance was blurry due to the rain, and only the sound of rain could be heard. It was extra clear in this night of slaughter. His gaze fell on the compass once more. The 4 green dots closed in from 2 different directions. Wang Lin watched for a long time and determined which green dot was the Void Turbulent cultivator he had battled before. Unfortunately, this compass. However, I already understand the internal structure and restrictions inside the compass. As long as I have the materials, I can make one, Wang Lin muttered as he raised his left hand and a dull-looking origin soul appeared. This was an origin soul he had taken from the 3 groups that were pursuing him. It had reached a certain cultivation level and was very complete. It also wasn't damaged at all. Wang Lin had already wiped the wool from this origin soul. The only thing that remained was a confused origin soul body. Wang Lin's left hand suddenly crushed the origin soul, but before it dissipated, Wang Lin injected a sliver of his divine sense before placing it in the compass. The moment the origin soul entered the compass, it turned into smoke and surrounded the compass. Wang Lin's right hand threw it. The origin soul seemed to begin burning and flew at a crazy speed before disappearing without a trace. The origin soul had taken control of the compass. It was now burning itself to fly at a very fast speed toward the end of the world. It may not fly for long though, as the origin soul would burn until it exhausted itself and died. The compass would fall somewhere. But this short period of time was enough for Wang Lin. Although the compass was no longer in his hands, the divine sense Wang Lin had placed on the compass allowed him to feel where the 4 people hunting him were located. Like how the cicada sheds its carapace, Wang Lin turned from prey to hunter. His body flickered and he left this place. He reappeared in another part of the prairie. He sat down and felt the changes with the compass. He had the fire essence, so the mud under him naturally dried. Time slowly passed, and in a flash, 1 hour went by. During this 1 hour of time, the distance between the 4 cultivators grew. The 2 mid-stage Void Turbulent old monsters naturally didn't wish to continue at this speed. Once they determined Wang Lin's direction, they pulled ahead and chased after Wang Lin's compass. The 2 early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators fell behind, and the distance between them and the 2 old monsters became even wider. Wang Lin opened his eyes, revealing a sliver of coldness. He touched his chest. There was a space stone in his body. He still felt like the stone was extraordinary, but he still didn't know its exact usage. When the nether beast appeared and devoured the other heavenly Tao, Wang Lin had an idea. He vaguely had some idea of the other uses for this item. It could allow the nether beast's devour power to increase, but this stone contains endless space. When fused with the nether beast, a series of changes will take place. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He opened his mouth and there was a flash of ghostly light as the space stone flew into his hand. Holding this stone, Wang Lin pondered for a moment. Ripples appeared and he disappeared without a trace. Only the space stone fell on the ground and was hidden among the grass. At this moment, Wang Lin appeared inside the space stone. This was the first time he had entered this strange stone with his body. The space he had chosen was one of the countless that were no different from the real world. It was not large, only a few 100,000 kilometers in size. There were mountains, light, earth, but no water. Everyone here lacked water. It looked real but was still incomplete. Sitting inside the space stone, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked around. He then waved his right hand and a blue umbrella appeared. It flew into the air and slowly replaced the sky. He waved his right hand once more and the gourd with 30 million Tao souls appeared. It fused with the earth, causing it to tremble, and waves of death aura came from the ground. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin raised his right hand and the golden print Xian Luo had given him appeared. Wang Lin looked at the print and blew a breath on it. This caused the print to shine brightly, and Wang Lin threw it into the sky. It became the sun. After doing all this, Wang Lin took out the ghostly sail he had made. The sail scattered and turned into the clouds in this world. These clouds looked simple, but they could change into anything. The last things he took out were Yi Sai and the Mosquito King. The Mosquito King changed its size and disappeared into the white clouds. As for Yi Sai, it fused with the earth and was hidden by the earth aura coming from the 30 million Tao souls in the ground. This world lacks karma, Wang Lin muttered as he sat there. A vortex appeared between his eyebrows and then his karma essence condensed into a long sword and disappeared into the world. Also life and death, true and false, as Wang Lin muttered, two essences flew out, forming two long swords, and they disappeared. Also slaughter and restriction, a monstrous killing intent appeared, and the clouds became dark. Black snow began to fall, and each snowflake contained the restriction essence. Soon, the ground was covered in a thin layer of black snow. Also fire, thunder, water. Wang Lin waved his arm and he stood up. Fire raged in his left eye and thunder flashed in his right eye. A sea of fire formed a sword, and the sword became a volcano. The thunder also turned into a sword, and that sword turned into a sea of thunder. This sea was not made of water, but bolts of thunder. After doing all this, Wang Lin waved his sleeve and disappeared from this place. A soft, ghostly light came from where the space stone had been dropped in the extreme sky prairie. Wang Lin appeared and picked up the space stone, then he looked into the distance. The field of slaughter had been prepared, now he just needed to grind the person by force. Based on the divine sense he had left, the compass was about to perish. Behind the compass, the two mid-stage void turbulent old monsters were about to catch up. Far behind the two old monsters, the two early-stage void turbulent cultivators were also rushing over. Wang Lin slowly walked forward and ripples echoed, but he didn't merge with the world to leave. He was still waiting. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. Until the 19th breath, when Wang Lin clearly felt the compass collapse. The origin soul inside died and the trace of divine sense he had left there was also destroyed. He vaguely heard 2 angry roars from that sliver of divine sense. Wang Lin mercilessly took a step and he disappeared. Shu Tsai flew into the distance above the extreme sky prairie feeling gloomy. In his battle against Wang Lin, he had lost his heavenly Tao, which was difficult for him to accept. The connection between him and the heavenly Tao had been severed when his heavenly Tao was devoured, which caused him to become injured. At this moment, his origin soul was so weak, it would take him a while to recover. Wang Lin, you will without a doubt die. There are 2 mid-stage void turbulent cultivators chasing you. I want to see how you will escape. Elder Zhong also promised me that once you are captured, he will hand you to me for a few days. I'll make sure you will wish for death. Shu Tsai's hatred for Wang Lin came from his heavenly Tao being devoured. The more his heart ached for his heavenly Tao, the more he hated Wang Lin. As he flew, his expression suddenly changed and he looked into the distance. At that moment, he felt a fluctuations come from the distance. When he looked at the fluctuations, he immediately saw Wang Lin walk out from the void, change directions, and leave. He clearly saw that Wang Lin had noticed him, and the expression on Wang Lin's face changed before he sped up. Ripples appeared under Wang Lin's feet. It was clear he was going to leave through this strange method. Wang Lin. He is not in front, but here? Xu Dezai was startled as he watched Wang Lin quickly leave. Since Wang Lin could disappear using that strange method, he didn't have time to think as he chased. You could have taken any path, but you ended up before me. Wang Lin, it is your own bad luck that led you to your death. Xu Dezai sneered and quickly chased after Wang Lin, closing the distance. He was completely focused on Wang Lin, and he had swept the area with his divine sense. He had found nothing, so he relaxed. But just after he moved forward 10,000 feet, he suddenly disappeared. It was as if he had smashed into an invisible spatial rift and disappeared. The moment he disappeared, Wang Lin closed in and also disappeared. Only the space stone laid there in the grass below. It was covered by mud water. Xu Dezai went missing. The moment he went missing, the early-stage void turbulent female at the edge of the prairie suddenly opened her eyes. Her expression changed as she stared at the compass before her, and the feeling of all her hair standing up filled her body. She saw the dot that represented Xu Dezai suddenly disappear. The woman's face immediately turned pale and her eyes were filled with disbelief. She didn't hesitate to pass this news using a special method to the 3 void turbulent cultivators in the extreme sky prairie. The expressions of the 2 mid-stage void turbulent cultivators were extremely gloomy as they flew. Both of them had chased after the compass only to find that they had been tricked. They were extremely angry but had nowhere to vent. As the 2 flew, their expressions changed and they stopped in the air when they received the message sent to them. Xu Dezai was clearly following behind and now he is missing. The expression of the old man named Zhong changed. It must be that Wang Lin. He used the compass to attract our attention, but he was actually hiding in the prairie and ambushed Xu Dezai. Killing intent appeared in the eyes of the old man named Zhao. Just as they 2 of them noticed this, the clouds over the prairie dissipated, revealing the sunlight. But not only did the rain not stop, it became even more intense. Under the dense rain, dense, black fog rose from the earth and covered up the entire prairie. The old men named Zhong and Zhao suddenly looked around. An invisible pressure spread out from this endless prairie. The early-stage void turbulent female cultivator, who was still a distance away from the 2 old men, trembled and stopped in the air. Through the special method the Green Devil Continent cultivators used to communicate, she learned about Xu Dezai going missing. At the same time, she saw the fog coming from the earth soon cover the world. Endless howls came from the fog. Inside the fog, the thousands of cultivators from the underground palaces launched the second attack under Lu Wenran's lead. The 3 void turbulent cultivators attempted to rush out of the fog, but Lu Wenran's gloomy voice echoed. "Fellow cultivator, why the rush to leave?" As his words echoed, all the void turbulent cultivators rushed out and the battle began. At the edge of the extreme sky prairie, the early-stage void turbulent woman controlling the compass suddenly opened her eyes. Without hesitation, she waved her sleeve and led the thousands of Green Devil Continent cultivators toward the prairie. As the second battle unfolded on the prairie, there was a common-looking rock that no one paid attention to somewhere in the grass. There was countless spaces inside this stone. At this moment, in one of these spaces, a battle against a void turbulent cultivator was taking place. Xu Dezai fell into the space inside the space stone designated by Wang Lin. When he appeared, his heart trembled and knew he had fallen for Wang Lin's trap. But his cultivation level was high, so he didn't reveal any sense of panic. He looked up and saw that the sky was blue and the sun was golden, but the earth was filled with the aura of death. In the distance, there was a volcano, and in another direction, there was a sea of thunder. There were dark clouds in the blue sky and there was black snow falling. The snow had been falling for an unknown amount of time and had covered the ground in layers of snow. Wang Lin, Come out for me. Why play this game here? Shudesha's expression was gloomy as he looked around. The moment his voice echoed, Wang Lin's figure appeared from a ripple tens of thousands of feet in front of Shudetsai. He had changed into all white as he coldly stared at Shudetsai. Your spells are very fast. Then let us see whose spells are faster. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Karma. The moment this word echoed, the world trembled and a sword appeared. This sword represented Wang Lin's karma essence. Almost at the same moment Wang Lin used the spell, Shudetsai formed seal without hesitation and millions of seals appeared to form a red fog. Waves of miserable screams came from the fog and hundreds of thousands of souls appeared. They charged forward, covering the sky. Shudetsai retreated. His left hand rose to form seals once more. Nearly 7 million seals appeared, forming a lance. The lance twisted to become the head of a giant python that charged forward with its tongue out. Immediately after, Shudetsai retreated 3 more steps and raised his hands. He was about to cast another spell. He was very fast, but it was the first time he couldn't match Wang Lin. When he used the second spell, Wang Lin's life and death sword flew forward, but when he was casting his third spell, Wang Lin's true and false sword appeared a moment faster. This short moment was very important. The Karma sword instantly closed in on the ghosts. It cut down with the mysterious power of Karma and then all the souls collapsed. At the same time, Wang Lin's life and death sword closed in and cut down on the giant python formed by Shudetsai's spell. There was a thunderous bang as the python let out a roar of death and Wang Lin's life and death sword collapsed. But the true and false sword closed it at an unimaginable speed, and at this moment, Shudetsai hadn't finished the third spell. The true and false sword flashed toward Shudetsai's chest. It was too fast and his expression changed greatly. He rapidly retreated and threw the incomplete spell in his hand toward the sword. As rumbles echoed, the true and false sword collapsed, but Shudetsai also suffered. His face was pale as he retreated and raised his right hand to form seals. But how could Wang Lin give him the chance? Wang Lin had finally disrupted Shudetsai's casting and lured him here to this slaughter field. Wang Lin had to kill Shudetsai and obtain the secret of casting spells that fast. Just as Shudetsai retreated 2 steps, Wang Lin revealed a fierce expression and pointed forward. Fire essence. As the words echoed, the volcano in the distance erupted and instantly teleported near Shudetsai, surrounding him. The volcano continued to erupt, and with Wang Lin's fire essence true body inside, it became a powerful attack. Thunder essence. Once Wang Lin seized the opportunity, he would not give up so easily. As his words echoed, the volcano that surrounded Shudetsai suddenly teleported again into the vast thunder sea. Thunder rumbled and the lightning seemed to boil as countless bolts of thunder rushed toward the volcano. A mad bombardment of thunder and fire began. Water essence. Wang Lin waved his sleeve, then he bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a mouthful of blood. This space was not complete and therefore didn't have any water, but Wang Lin used the water essence condensed in his own blood. The mouthful of blood turned into red water vapor and flew toward the thunder volcano. The moment the red water vapor fell, the fire collapsed and the thunder exploded. The fusion of 3 essence created destruction. At this moment, the 3 ethereal essences that had disappeared reformed into long swords and rushed in. This video will end here.